Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So, today we're going to be talking about the serial aspect. This is more of an introduction video because this is quite a complex aspect. The the serial the serial aspect in Tuscarora generally deals with ongoing or actions that will repeat. So, if something happens one time, or perfective actions, then you won't be using this for that. You would use the punctual. You would use the punctual, which we've already talked about. And punctual exists for all the tenses except for the present. So in the serial tense, like I said, deals with ongoing actions, and you can use this for things that are currently in progress, currently going on. This would correspond to the ing that you might use for verbs like I'm going somewhere. I'm actively running right now. And this can also even deal with even though you're using present tense suffixes for this. This can also have the meaning of like was doing. So you might say something like let's say Kayer, and the I'm pretty sure the one that we would get for this would be just a ha. I'm not 100% sure about this because I'm still putting together the notes for the serial and this tense, but I do know that saying this phrase tihra yer. I do know that tihra yer means what he is doing, what he does, and this would also mean was doing. So you have this. You have the ability to do this here. Something like this. Was doing. And you can also use this from, at least from my notes, because there's a whole, there are loads. There are many phonetic sound changes that occur with the serial aspect. And this can also deal with if you're using, so generally you have ha or hus, us, something to do with us at the end. Sometimes you even get an at, which you don't use a lot, but generally speaking, the the serial is going to end in one of these four sounds. So it'll either be ha, it'll be or os or hus, something like that, or it'll be eh, which is only used in a few stems. Not too many stems have this. And then the ha. And so these are the four. These are the four that you can have depending on what that root takes. Sometimes even if the root ends in a vowel, it may take something else. So it really depends on what that stem takes or what the stem ends in. That's usually going to determine what ending this takes. We'll just say usually depends on the stem or the root's ending sound, consonant versus vowel. Because if you have if the sound ends in a r, then you might have one ending. But if it ends in like a te or a th, dental sounds, then you'll end up putting ha at the end. So, like I said, it's very complex, but once you get it, it makes a lot more sense. Or rather, once you memorize, in the cases like with et, whenever in the case where we're using et as that particle, there's a lot of cases where once you memorize which one goes with that, then you're gonna know. And since the aspects are extremely important in Tuscarora, they're used in noun formation, they're used in verb phrases, they're used in sentences because the serial is so important, along with the punctual and the perfective aspects, because you literally need them to speak the language. Like once you know what goes with what, then it'll be easy to form this. It's really just a matter of getting used to it. So other ones you can do. So all of these deal with, gonna do this, general present tense, what you do, generally what you do. Generally what you do means you're gonna keep doing it, right? General present. Things you're used to doing habitually. And then we also have this ha. So generally you'll find a lot of this, you might see this as hawk, or sometimes even hawk. And this type of form, this denotes like something you did, something you used to do in the past, right? Something that you kept doing in the past. So you also have this kept doing thing. So because it's an ongoing, or was an ongoing, it was an ongoing thing. Like you visited your father every summer, right? Every summer school would end, and then you would go visit your father. That's when, that's where you might say something. Or summer camp happened every summer, or school used to happen. School used to start every, and then you would say, whatever the word for start is, followed by hawk or husak, whatever the stem is for that. So you have that. And then the main last thing that you can do with this is it also has its own future tense. So you can do you would do the same that you use for the punctual future, where you're doing plus the stem and the pronouns in the stem, and then you add the punctual glottal stop at the end. In this case, you started with and then you add your pronouns plus your pronouns and participants, and then you add your stem. And then you add the serial at the end. So this will generally come out like something like, let's just write it like this. So we'll have egg. And this, and we'll just go ahead and put like husak. Okay. Plus the stereo, plus a serial, plus egg. So in the example I have, the example that I have for this is ra yud ho suk. Yud ho suk. He will keep, basically, like he will keep planting, or he will be planting. So this is generally what you can do. So you can do basically do a continuous future. You can do a continuous future, ongoing past, or used to do, currently in progress, going on, ongoing, keep doing. And you can also, with keep doing, you can also use not yet. Not pretty sure. Use not yet, and that would basically be like continue to do something. But yeah, so that is generally how the serial aspect is used in this language. There are loads and loads. Like, I can show you right now, there are a load of rules just for the present. Just for that present is doing was that serial past, serial present. I'm not even covering the serial, just the remote past. This is like the near past, and this is just for the present tense, the present tense, and the simple ongoing past tense. There's a lot of stuff, and just for things that would end in that where the serial would be a S, or where the serial would be a H, where the serial would be a hot, and where the serial would be at. I'm trying to find examples for each of these so that they can each of these that aren't necessarily in the grammar, just so that we can practice with a wider range of different stems here. But that is all we have for the serial. Hopefully you learned something from this, and if you have followed this whole time, I appreciate your support. If you're looking for language coaching or language instruction like this, whether you're an organization or an individual, I offer this type of stuff for a pretty decent rate. So if you'd like to get in on tutoring, or if you're just a heritage speaker or a conlanger, any kind of language needs you might have, and you need like an in-house linguist or somebody that can help you reach your goals, even if it's conversation development, I can help you get to that point. Even if you're trying to learn how to live in a country, I've lived in several where I've had to prepare or even when I've had to prepare for trips and I had to learn the language to go to those places, so I wouldn't have to speak English in those places. And it can really give you an advantage and a deeper experience when you travel. So I am here for all language needs, for all language instruction. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me on linkshack.club, and you can book a consultation, or you can email me at languageshack@gmail.com. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you all in the next video.